welcome. This is Ayan from Watch Out, and today we have a very special guest with us, Dr. Deeksha Sharma from Cornell University. She's a research scholar in psychoanalysis, and she's also a pass out of IIT Roorkee from 2018 batch. So, hi, Deeksha.
Hi. Hi, thank you so much for having me on your show. And I'm so obliged for the whole team of the Watch Out IITR that how you guys are taking initiative. So thank you so much for inviting me and doing this podcast, which is all about mental health.
So, before we delve into the topics of mental health, how does it feel to be back with IIT Roorkee?
Okay, so I think the word for me is serene, heaven, utopian, and then I'll say that I can't describe it because I'll say that I have traveled around the world. I have been in the best possible universities and staying there and traveling and whatnot. But I think the best feeling here, that is to sit in front of the white building, raat ke 2 baje, with some Maggi in your hand from the night canteen. Or abhi aap aaye hain wapas from from your library and just taking some break and having that. Even it's in the midst of April and May, which is really hot time. And the road is very hot, but you're sitting there and eating your Maggi. I think that is something which I miss about IIT Roorkee, aur wo mujhe kahin nahi mil sakta. So yes, I'm very glad to be in touch with my roots.
Yeah, I mean, Thompson Building has its own grandeur attached to it. So everybody loves the Thompson Building. So apart from that, when you were there in the campus, you also had this interaction with all the students. And with that, you also got to know how the students are here and how all that system works. So what do you feel is like the whole scenario which makes student health or student mental health so important?
I think, okay. And I think this is a very relevant question, very close to my heart, because it's just not a question, but it's something which I experienced throughout my period at IIT Roorkee. So I'll say that the way I look at IIT Roorkee is like, you get the most beautiful minds, probably the most beautiful minds of the world at one place. That is the campus, irrespective of different diverse cultures and ethnicities and geographical locations, and everybody have collected there on just one commonality, which is their beautiful mind. और मुझे दुख उस चीज का होता है that they don't acknowledge it, they don't know it, that how amazing each one of them is or are, and they are suffering through so much which is not visible on their faces, but बैग लेके चप्पल लेके साइकिल लेके निकलते हैं रोज, कभी असाइनमेंट्स लेके, कभी अटेंडेंस इश्यूज से लेके सब कुछ, और अंदर क्या चल रहा है कि बहुत कम लोगों को पता है या पता ही नहीं है. तो the way I look at it is like, if you are talking about such beautiful minds, so creative, who deserve the best in the world, but mentally कहीं ना कहीं वो किसी ना किसी चीज से vulnerable है, कुछ चीज से डर रहे हैं. So I think a support system is required, which is not yet there, or even if it's there, they're not able to acknowledge it. So we need to create those initiatives so they understand कि पहली चीज they are so intelligent, and just not intelligent, they're so creative, and they are there because of a reason, and they need to feel happy about it. But that's not the scenario. The scenario is altogether different, from sense of belonging, from not having imposter syndrome. That is like one of the biggest things. Like, you are cracking one of the biggest exam, okay, and like of the world, I'll say, and then you're there and you're not able to feel it. Now, that's something very different. So how I would take is like, they just need to acknowledge their own skill set. They need to acknowledge who they are. So if I'm talking about Gauri, or if I'm talking about Ayan, so I'll say that, they need to know that I'm Gauri or I'm Ayan, you know. So similarly, this goes for everybody, the whole junta of apna IIT Roorkee. They need to understand that part. So with questions, I think yehi question ko main baar I'll reframe, and we'll understand that what exactly actually is happening with the mental health. And it's just not our campus; it's everywhere around the world. But I am in awe that, you know, such beautiful minds like us are affected so much, and एक इस चीज के कारण वो कितना ज्यादा पुल बैक फील करते हैं और वो efficiently काम नहीं कर पाते जो वो कर सकते हैं. That's what I feel.
Yeah, मतलब I've also seen कि ऐसे when you join college, words like stress, words like anxiety, words like depression, they become a habitual thing.
Yeah.
And also like if a student has a good company, like 3-4 friends he can hang out with, तो मन नहीं लग रहा assignment के तो उसके रूम पे चले गए, बैठ गए, थोड़ी बातचीत कर ली, फिर वापस आके काम किया. So the college life is easier, bearable, everything is bearable. But if there is a person like who's not very active or who's not very willing to talk to people or interact with people, then for him it's much more difficult. Like we also had a question from the survey that we did, and there also people did mention that it's very difficult to cope up with all the stress that's there.
Yes, Ayan. Thank you so much, Ayan, for keeping a beautiful format for this podcast. That we ask questions from the IIT Arjunta, and they give some anonymous feedback and anonymous questions. And trust me, subke questions we will cater, all of us. We're gonna cater your questions. So be ready for that. And thank you so much for asking those questions. And while I was looking at the questions, I'll say that there was one thing common, okay? And that is, those questions are something which are in the mind of everyone. So I'll say, jinke wo questions the or jinke wo questions nahi bhi hai, you people are not alone. These are the questions which are resonating in everybody's mind. And trust me, it is just not IIT Roorkee, in different IITs, and not even that, in different colleges around the world. So I had one podcast where I used to talk to people around the world, and specifically students. So if you talk about students from Dubai, from Amsterdam to Taiwan, New York, California, they are going through this similar kind of challenges. So first thing I'll say is, you are not alone. And secondly, if you see time-wise, so abhi aap log college mein ho, you're going through the same set of questions. Trust me, the people who have passed out, who were like in 2017 or 2018 or the previous batches, they went through the same problems, similar issues. So while I was, reading the questions, I could just, relate it to my students, or even before that. This is one thing. And there's one more interesting thing. You won't believe, similar questions and doubts are there in the minds of successful businessmen, CEOs, founders, whom I am also counseling all around the world. Trust me. So don't feel intimidated by whatever you're feeling. First. Secondly, don't feel that you are alone. So whatever the questions will be thrown, I think generally most of us feel that. The only taboo we feel is, "Arey yaar, puche kaise?" I think I am all alone asking this question, or maybe it's so weird I'm feeling like this. So don't feel weird, don't feel alone. Sabke dil mein similar set of questions aate hain, and I'm so thankful, and I am having a reverence for all the students who threw those questions at us, so we can cater right now. So thank you, Ayan, for the idea. It's beautiful.
Thank you. I mean, had you not been there, we wouldn't have been able to actually ask those questions. So there's another thing, like we say people do feel these questions come up in their minds. But the thing that we don't actually look upon is why these things come up. There has to be some reason, because something like this coming up into your mind is not natural. There has to be some driving force. So what do you feel about that?
Good question, Ayan. So the driving force are very subjective in everybody's life. Okay, so the output would be the same. So Ayan, जिससे आपको इस समय stress हो रहा होगा, they're altogether different. The reasons, जिससे मेरे या फिर जो मुझे stress हो रहा है, या फिर जिससे गौरी को stress हो रहा है, or whoever is listening to this podcast, but the impact is same. The impact are, as we discussed, like depression, anxiety, panic attacks, feeling numb, not getting associated with anything, or starting to, contracting yourself in your own cocoon. So ये है fallouts. जब हम reasons की बात करते हैं तो reasons कुछ भी हो सकते हैं, ठीक है? Reasons केवल ऐसा नहीं है कि आप IIT रुड़की में आए, आप कैंपस में आए. अब that's a big transition, all right? You're leaving your home and you're coming to the campus. ये आपके life का one of the biggest paradigm shift कहूंगी मैं इसे. And you don't realize at that point of time because there's so many challenges coming up, but it is. But having said that, जो आपकी anxieties होती हैं या जो भी आपके triggering points होते हैं, sometimes they come from your childhood, but then you never look at it that way, all right? क्योंकि आपके इतना सब कुछ engrossed होता है. Maybe when you come to altogether a different place, a different environment, वो trigger इसलिए होता है क्योंकि वो catalyst हो जाता है. First thing is you start feeling lonely, and वो सबसे बड़ा issue है. When you start feeling lonely, everything hover around. कई बार आपने अपने आप को कभी, have you ever done that, keeping your phone aside and just like being by yourself, and so many thoughts like they come, like they just eat you up. And इसी को ही आप थोड़ा larger aspect में देखेंगे तो हो क्या रहा है, that being in the campus for the first time, there are so many challenges. Plus आप childhood में भी आपका कुछ ना कुछ trigger point रहा होगा जो आपने manage कर लिया होगा because you were just a kid, okay, you were just a child. But now this is a transition from being a teenage to like, growing up also. So there are many things happening. So you are going more towards adulthood, and then you have a lot many challenges. You don't have your home with you. You don't have your parents with you. You have an entire different set of environments. So everything, kicks in. अब उसमें क्या trigger points हैं, बहुत subjective है. किसी के लिए वो studies हो जाता है, किसी के लिए inability to make friends हो जाता है, किसी के लिए inability to even get into, for example, music section. They're not able to, get into music section. वो उनके लिए life का इतना बड़ा एक point बन जाएगा कि वो उसको इतना बड़ा बना लेंगे कि और वो कुछ नहीं देख पाएंगे. So reasons हमेशा अलग होंगे, trigger points भी अलग होंगे, but it's all the piled up stuff. It's just not that it started from there. But in some cases, Gauri and Ayan, होता क्या है कि things begin at the campus only. उससे पहले they were all chill, कभी इनको ध्यान ही नहीं दिया, and all the fears and inhibitions and everything and vulnerabilities start coming up in the campus. क्योंकि the way they were defining their identity was altogether different जो वो अब देख रहे हैं, ठीक है? तो बहुत ही subjective है. अब जब हम questions लेंगे तो इसी चीज को हम समझेंगे कि how it is so subjective कि एक इंसान के लिए जो triggering point है हो सकता है दूसरे के लिए बिल्कुल भी ना, किसी के लिए अरे यार सीजी मेरे को ध्यान ही नहीं दे रहा है, और दूसरे के लिए मेरे को 9.99 आना चाहिए, अदर पर्सन 5 में मैं खुश हूँ, कोई 10 में भी खुश नहीं है, कोई 5 में भी बहुत ज्यादा खुश है, कोई म्यूजिक सेक्शन में मेन लीड आर्टिस्ट होके भी खुश नहीं है, और कोई उसमें जस्ट दे वांट टू एंटर एट द बैक स्टेज ओनली. तो ये छोटे छोटे एग्जांपल्स हैं किसके लिए क्या चीज बड़ी बन रही है, वो इम्पोर्टेंट है. सो इट्स नॉट अबाउट it's not even about the reasons. It's about handling those reasons, reasons तो आते रहेंगे. आज ये है, कल को internship है, फिर placements है, maybe your boyfriend, maybe your girlfriend, maybe your eating habits, maybe your own the way you're looking at your body, from anything for that matter. So reasons बदलते रहेंगे, but how you're handling, हम उस पे बात करेंगे, ठीक है ना? क्योंकि आपको IIT रुड़की में के 4 साल के बाद बाहर ही जाना है. That'll be another transition for you. So how are you going to manage that as well? All right. So yeah, throw me more questions there.
Deeksha, you rightly mentioned about that many of us haven't mastered the skills and cognitive maturity of adulthood, and it's a huge transition for us. And during this process, many of us we're afraid of failures, rejection, grief, and disappointment, because of these which we're not able to let go of stuff. So a lot of the people we surveyed had this question, that how do we learn this process of letting go?
Nice. I think this is a question which even the Beatles were not able to understand. They went to the Rishikesh, stayed there, and they were also not understand how to let go stuff. So ये बहुत ही how should I say, it's a very deep thrown question, but I love the question whoever has asked. It's very difficult, trust me. If you ask me how I have to practice it, I have yet not I have not yet practiced to the extent where I feel like I can let go things. But it's more about opportunity cost. अब opportunity cost क्या होता है? आपके पास दो रास्ते हैं, सोचो. Okay, so the one way is like it's not properly laid, बिल्कुल मिट्टी वाला रास्ता है, but it's very short. Okay, it just take you like 5 minutes to cross that path with your scooty or something. If the other one is like 5-kilometer way, so it's gonna take like maybe 15-20 minutes, but it's a smooth ride. Now, it's up to you. What do you want to take? Okay, and how it's going to help you out in that particular situation. So letting go is like, do you want to have the opportunity cost of leaving the time and just having a smooth ride of 5 kilometers, or you're okay, nahi, I'm gonna go with like this rough ride, but I'll reach on time. So time is something which I need. So letting go is not about letting go one thing, but it's all about the comparative state. What is in comparison to that you want to feel like I have this and I can let go this. Iska koi comparison state nahi hai. Like I'll just give you an example. So there have been people who had a crush on somebody in IIT Roorkee, और वो लोग नहीं उसको approach कर पाए. So they're like, what next should I do? They were like, all right, मैं पढ़ाई शुरू करूँगा. And they became really good at it. And they like CG sahi ho gayi sab kuch. That's the way. They haven't let it go. Okay, it's still there. That's their crush. But this is the way, they channelized a feeling of letting go, of not getting the answer which they're looking for. So in most of the situations, Gauri, you don't get the answer which you're looking for. And specifically, जब आपको कुछ चाहिए होता है, बहुत ज़्यादा ही उससे शिद्दत से आपको वो नहीं मिलता है. And then you're asking questions like, why I'm not able to get this? Because whether it's your work or maybe in your school, you're cracking some Olympiads or something like that, and you were not able to do that. And you're like, why not me? Why my friends were able to do it? Why I'm not able to do it? And then you're not able to let it go. All right. You are in the IIT, you can have the same example for your friends who were not able to come to IIT just because of एक rank ऊपर नीचे. And it's not कि उन्होंने पढ़ा अच्छा नहीं था या उन्होंने उतनी ही मेहनत की थी, but they're not able to let it go. So what are they gonna do about it? They're gonna work harder and they're gonna be there, right? Similarly, आप अगर campus में हो, अंदर हो, and if you failed at one thing or you were not selected in one thing and you're not able to let it go, trust me, उसको let it go ना करने से क्या होगा नहीं होगा, that's another fallout. Problem is, if you're not gonna do that, आप फोकस दूसरी चीज पे नहीं कर पाओगे जिसकी जरूरत है. So maybe if you are not able to get selected in one thing and you are like, why I'm not getting selected in this? मेरे friend जो साथ वाले कमरे में रहता है उसका selection हो गया. Why I'm not able to do this? If you'll get stuck over there, तो आप next तैयारी नहीं कर पाओगे. But having said that, it's a beautiful question, Gauri, because if you'll see the longer run, आप एक बड़ी picture देखोगे. So what you will see is, in most of the cases, how I have seen and observed, and I've done the psychoanalysis of students specifically at IIT Roorkee, is the ones who have gone with the maximum number of failures or not getting shortlisted or not selected, वो मचाते हैं. You know why? Because they are survivors. उनको survive करना आता है. It's not about winning. They know how to survive. वो कोई ना कोई रास्ता निकाल लेंगे, फिर वो उनकी फितरत में आ जाता है. That means it's in their trait now. And they can do things which normally people cannot do, right? So they are not winning at the first go. So they know how to work around it and find ways to, become better than the people who won at the first hand. So I think it's beautiful to fail and even not to let go. It's all right. There are things which you will never be able to let go. It's all right. But you don't have to drench yourself in it. If you're not able to let go, but still able to channelize, it's all right. It's very specific. What do you don't want to let go? Your crush or your studies or maybe getting shortlisted in some place. So again, very subjective. Find your peace and work accordingly. The only thing is don't harm yourself in the process. Life is too big, man. Like there's too much to be done. You have so many opportunities. यहाँ नहीं मिलेगा तो वहाँ मिल जाएगा. किसी भी case में, from your crush to from your studies to getting shortlisted anywhere, anything. All right. So just think the platter is big, it's large. Not only that, but having said that, it's a long way to go. Don't feel कि बस अभी है, oh shit, I'm not able to do it, अभी नहीं हो सकता तो कभी नहीं हो सकता. Relax, take a breather. तुम्हारे seniors भी थे, they went through the same thing. अगर तुम किसी senior से कभी बात करोगे, उनकी story सुनोगे, तुम्हें लगेगा अरे ये तो मेरी story बता रहा है. It's the same. Like if you can sit with somebody, like coffee with a senior, something like that, they will tell the same kind of story. Who is open enough to tell you their failures, their fears, how much anxious they were, या उनको क्या लग रहा था, you know, mental vulnerabilities. अगर कोई ऐसा कभी मिले, तो तुम्हें लगेगा they are rewriting your story, or they have already written your story and they have taken the rights of the story. You know, so you need to understand that part. So just relax, take a breather. Whatever you want to let it go, let it go. The thing which you don't want to let it go, let it go.
Thank you, Deeksha. That was really a beautiful and insightful explanation to this question.
Thank you, Gauri, for asking the question.
Next, I would like to say that after coming to the campus, a lot of us have felt emotionally numb, like you mentioned before. And ऐसा होता है कि we have our best friends, our parents, our family, everything. But एक time पे उनका absence or presence हमारे लिए matter ही नहीं कर रहा होता है. And this feeling is very frustrating that people who were once very close to you, now you don't care about them. So like, how to deal with this?
Okay, Gauri, I think this is a very sensitive question, and we need to handle it very emotionally, क्योंकि it's about your family. और मैं सबको ये बताना चाहती हूँ, when it's about your family, it's your identity. Whether you like it or you don't like it, you don't choose your family. Okay, there have been many cases where the problem starts with the family or something like that. The way I see it is like family is something which you don't choose, right? But you can choose how to handle and manage it. I know you're going through a lot and you don't feel that connect with them, maybe because there's something else going in with you. But don't label it that, you know, that you're going to detach them from forever. So I'll just give an example, Gauri, here. There have been many students at IIT Roorkee जो पूरे साल घर नहीं जाते थे. So the first therapy session I used to tell them was, घर जाओ. So they are like running away from home. The problem is like whatever is happening at home or whatever you're feeling, if that is the reason for you of detaching yourself, you need to understand you're part of the whole process. All right, you're part of that family. You cannot detach yourself from that. Okay. And secondly, whatever they are saying, ho sakta hai, that is their inability to give you the right kind of information, but their intent is good. Always remember. So I always told everybody at IIT Roorkee that maybe आप parents से vibe नहीं करोगे because they don't have the full information. You're like, आपको नहीं पता है, आपको पूरी बात नहीं पता, आपको पता नहीं है मार्केट में क्या चल रहा है, and you're like, do you know अभी ये TCS नहीं होता, अब startups आ गई हैं. They're like, they don't understand the, you know, the concept of startups, and they're like, किस में काम कर रहे हो, वो तो बहुत छोटी कंपनी है. But it's not about what they are talking to you or what kind of arguments you're having with them. अरे इतनी छोटी कंपनी में इंटर्नशिप कर रहे हो, इतनी छोटी कंपनी में तुम प्लेसमेंट ले लिया, इतना कम पैकेज, तुम तो मतलब कोर में क्यों कर रहे हो, लोग तो आजकल हर बंदा वो कोडिंग कर रहा है. उस बच्चे ने वहां से पढ़ाई की, which is a non-IITian, and they have to tell you that उसका इतने लाख का पैकेज लगा है. Then you're like, oh my god, I know I'm from the core, I love core, and I'm going for a startup, and my parents will not understand that. Just an example, okay? But having said that, they are trying to give you the best possible information to make sure that you get to the best possible place, okay? So if you're talking about the family part, always remember, if it's your specifically parents, there might be some arguments with them and you don't at all resonate with what they say, but unka intention is always good. So work on the intent. अगर वो कुछ कहे भी ना तो मुस्कुरा दो, बोलो हाँ ठीक है पापा समझ गया. Just feel that उनका intention अच्छा है. That's it. अगर इतनी maturity तुम लोग अपने में ले आओगे, आधा problem solve हो जाएगा. Because see, when you have good conversations with your parents, आधा problem you feel light. The day you have a call with your mom and like मम्मी पूछती है क्या खाया बेटा, and you have a very light call, कोई argument नहीं है, कुछ नहीं है. When you put down the call, you feel like, oh my god, let's do something good today. And अगर थोड़ा सा भी कुछ argument हो जाता है, and then you're like, you feel heavy. I'm pretty sure because ये मेरे साथ अभी भी होता है. Trust me. So होता है ही हम, and especially with Indian families and Indian kids, होता है. We are connected with them. Now this is the first thing. Second thing is कि feeling numb even when you have no complaints from them. All right, that's another scenario. Okay. In that particular case, when you know that they have done nothing wrong, but you're still feeling a lot of anger or a lot of detachment, or उनकी कोई छोटी बात पे you have to like hit them hard, like एकदम जोर से चिल्लाना है, and you know you're wrong about that. You know you're absolutely wrong, but you have to shout at your mom. And then you realize, why the hell I shouted at my mom? I'm not supposed to do this, right? It is because you have to understand it's not about them. It's about there's something going in with you, okay? Maybe you're feeling lonely. Maybe you're not able to tell them the whole story. And that's why you feel, okay, I'm not able to tell them everything. That's why I want to detach yourself, right? But I'll tell you one mantra, and that is, in your life, you have some roles psychologically, which in society, socio psychological aspect of it, if you see. So you always have some identities in your life, which you give some roles to in your mind. Your mother, your father, maybe your sister, brother, your friends, all right, maybe your nana nani, your dada dadi. There are many people, different roles, okay? Or hota kya hai that you always think if this set of problem is, I'll go to this person and this person will solve that problem. And in some cases, when you feel that you have detached yourself, for example, if you're kind of a person that used to share every problem with your mom, and now you're on the campus and you feel detached, you don't want to tell these things because you're going through so much, you feel guilty, or you feel like ashamed, or you feel if I'm going to tell them, they'll be like, ghar wapas aaja, or something like that, or something big will happen. So in that particular case, I'll give you a simple mantra. It's not that you have to tell them. Find some senseful friends, talk to them, calm down a little bit. And then next time when you go back home, maybe on Rakhi or maybe on Diwali, just sit with your mom on like a cup of tea and just talk to her that, Mom, you know what? I'm feeling like this. Don't tell the whole story. आपको पूरा story नहीं बताना है, जो आपने की है मस्ती वो नहीं बताना है. Maybe she'll be like really angry and she's not expecting that out of you. But at least you can give a sense to her. ठीक है, लेकिन वो तभी हो पाएगा when you feel calm. And for that, as I mentioned, sometimes you have to do some role changes. So if you were thinking that, अरे मेरी problems है, if I'm not able to share with my family, so I need to have a disconnect with them, it's not the thing. You yourself are going through a paradigm shift. From a school kid, you're turning into a college person, right? Altogether different problems, altogether. And even sometimes parents will also not be able to understand कि मेरा बच्चा वहाँ गया है and how should we resonate with it. So if you have little bit of maturity, sitting with people, sane people in the campus, okay, some of your friends, and just discussing those problems, discussing that how you're feeling about it, and then just trying to understand the whole thing, that how should I get a reconnect to my family, it will help. But having said that, in many cases you're not able, or maybe there are many cases where kid का शुरू बच्चे का शुरू से ही कोई connection नहीं होता है इतना अच्छा from to the family. They're just talking, हाँ खाना खाया सब ठीक है, but वो भी detach हो जाता है, that you don't want to do that even. In that case, it's important to have some relevant and good relationships. It's just not boyfriend girlfriend. It is more than that. It's about having good friends who are very constructive. We find one friend in the IIT Roorkee जिसके साथ आप बैठ के अपने दिल की बात कर सकते हो. And if you're not able to find, then don't feel lonely, because I think 70% of the campus is like that. They're not able to find the right kind of people. That means 70% of the people are same, right? So have some confidence about that. Start talking about that, and don't feel guilty or ashamed. Even in the case you're not able to talk to your parents, it's okay. Or you're not able to connect with your whole family or your friends, and you want to just detach yourself for some time, it's okay. It's just a phase. Don't get intimidated by it. So I always say, if you're feeling something very out of track, out of bound, okay, this is not Gauri. For example, this is not Gauri, this is not me. So don't get intimidated by it. Okay, so if you're fearful about something, if you're like, maybe your exams are coming and you're so anxious about it, and you're like, I don't want to talk about this thing to my mom because she'll be more anxious about it, talk to a friend or make a diary, write something over there. It's not that you start feeling, Arey, I'm already feeling so fearful. Now I'm not able to have good connection with my family. So it's like piling up, piling up, piling up. And it'll pile up and it'll blast. So you have to understand it's okay, even if you're not able to have an instant connection with your family. It will be there. They are your family. In the end, they will come back to you. They are your loved ones. That's the way we human beings are supposed to be. Homo sapiens, our social intelligence is way more than our emotional intelligence in some cases. And from social intelligence, this emotional intelligence came into being. So if you speak scientifically also, this will happen. वो वक्त लेता है. Sometimes I have seen kids in their 4 years at IIT Roorkee, they were not able to have good connections with their family. But when they're like out, going out for like jobs and everything, they started understanding the problem of their family, how my dad earned money. It was so difficult for him. I have started earning money now. Now I understand that I have to pay taxes. Oh my God, my dad used to do everything simultaneously, multitasking. Then you understand how your mom used to cook food and everything, because you will be out, even at the time of internship, जब आप कहीं बाहर जाओगे, maybe going out of India, and then you have to cook something, even a dal. You'll realize, oh my God, my mom used to do this. So sometimes time is the therapy, just give time. You will start realizing everything by yourself. Always remember and have confidence on your core values, okay? From where you're coming, and always be confident about it. From wherever you are coming across India, just be confident about it, all right? That's very important. And after that, धीरे 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 हो जाएगा सब कुछ. It's don't get intimidated. I have no connection with my family. I'm not able to talk about my problems. It's okay. Start writing. Start making friends step by step. And it'll not happen in a week or so. It'll take months. And it's all right. But just the only point is you don't have to get intimidated by it. Because wo hota hai to you get panicky. And when you get panicky, you take wrong decisions. So aapko panic nahi karna hai. So if you're not panicky, then you will take the right decisions. When you know everything is okay, everything will be fine, then आपके decisions सही होंगे. Decisions गलत इसीलिए होते हैं, लोग गलत direction में इसीलिए जाते हैं because they get panicky. And why panicky? Because they have a fear of something. And why fear? Because they are not sure that they can hold on to something. All right? So if you go back, it's like that. उल्टा सोचो आप कि बस panic नहीं feel करना है, उसके लिए आपको feel I have things. Even if मैं मम्मी पापा से लड़ लूंगा, अपने भाई बहन से लड़ लूंगा, even some friends, in the end they will be there for me, and I am never alone. And you cannot be alone. You always have people around you. Okay? So it's about perspective.
Thank you so much, Deeksha, for this answer. Now, as Ayan mentioned before, that a lot of us are not able to share our feelings with our friends. We're not able to share what we're going through. And this this is sometimes because we have a guilt of transferring our burden on someone else. We don't want them to feel negative emotions because we gave our emotions to them. So how to overcome this guilt
Okay. Okay, good.
and not suck the energy out of the other person while sharing our thoughts?
Okay. See, as I
Also, adding to this, sometimes this happens कि there's the guilt that I can't share, but at the back of the mind, वो चीज आपको affect कर रही है, and that changes your attitude. And people think कि ये rude हो गया है, या ये बात नहीं कर रहा है, या ये कुछ कर रहा है, ये वो कर रहा है, ये कर रहा है. So that actually creates a distance or a gap between you and your friends. So that is also one thing which I also wanted to add.
Wow, Ayan, you gave me an example of one of your seniors just actually went through this. Not one, but more than one. Okay. So आपने जब example दिया कि when somebody is feeling that they detach themselves और बाकी friends कहते हैं यार ये rude हो गया है, he's just in his room, he's not talking. So I will take your question, but before that I will talk what Gauri said. Gauri, I think the point which comes in here is to understand that guilt is something which comes in frequency. So I will explain it a very beautiful way. All right, take it like that. So when you're happy and neutral, you're here, And when you are like, very happy and in a very gusto mood, like you want to do something which is like in a euphoric mood, you're here. Okay, this is neutral, this is euphoric. But when you're going through a lot, your frequency is here. And between this neutral and this low frequency, you have everything like guilt, shame, not able to connect with people, always feeling sorry about yourself, or thinking I have done something wrong, or I don't belong, I don't deserve, and all these negative thoughts. And you know what? These are just thoughts. Practically, guys, they don't exist. Okay? So, if I'm telling my problems to Gauri, okay, and if I'm feeling that I am guilty of telling her things because I'm sharing some negative energy with her, or maybe she won't be able to handle it, or maybe there are people who think that maybe she's going to judge me later on, or something like that, you need to first find somebody with whom you can have a good confidence, a rapport with that person. So if Gauri is my good friend, and if I'm telling her something, trust me, guys, she will understand. Because it time tha, even when she went through something, instead of feeling guilty about it, start to ask questions from her that where I'm going wrong, how I'm perceiving things. Again, as I mentioned in the previous question, what Gauri asked was like, how I ended the question was, it is all about perception. Mind na pura perception ka khel. Everything between the ears is magic, and it a devastating medium of doing things also. So it's beautiful and dangerous both. So how you're perceiving the thing, okay, is important. So if I give you, how should I say, if I give you a piece of marble, when you look at it, and if I ask different people how you perceive the marble, everybody's perception would be different as per their experiences of their own lives. Okay, so how people look at things, how people meet people, different people, it's all their experience, it's how they have perceived the things. So एक perceptive value है, इसकी कोई actual value नहीं है. Having said that, when you are feeling guilty about something, it's just because you are feeling it. The other person is ready to listen to you, right? That's why that person is sitting with you, guys. So don't feel that I'm guilty or something unless that person says, I can't hear you more, bro. I'm done with it. If somebody says like that, definitely you need to keep your respect on and you to move on and find the right person. But if somebody is sitting with you in the night time and raat ko baith ke tum baat kar rahe ho and he or she is listening to you, that means they want to listen and they want to help. And that's the way friendship works. And even if you're not friends, and even if you're colleagues and sitting and talking about the problem, from there the friendship is beginning, right? Sometimes कुछ ऐसी दोस्तियां मैंने देखी है अपने कैंपस में या कहीं पर भी, which begin with एक दूसरे की प्रॉब्लम डिस्कस करके कोई सॉल्यूशन निकाला है, and that those are like very strong friendships. So don't be intimidated, as I already said. Don't be scared, and don't feel like it's a very shameful thing that I'm telling my problems. Oh, मैं बहुत vulnerable लगूंगा, or feeling guilty about it, like that I am telling my problems and the other person will feel low about it. No, उसका एनर्जी लेवल अलग है तुमसे इस वक्त पे. तुम्हारा एनर्जी लेवल लो है, इसलिए तुम्हें लग रहा है कि वो भी लो हो जाएगा, बट ऐसा नहीं होगा. That person will make sure that you come up to the good energy level. All right, so it's good that you're sharing. Share more. We're supposed to share our problems. That's the way we Homo sapiens are supposed to be. There is one mantra, okay? If you feel something is happening in your heart and soul, within 24 hours, अगर वो नहीं गई है, तो next 48 hours में किसी को बता दो. Otherwise, वो बहुत गंदा pile up होगा. Don't let it pile up. Talk to anybody. It's just not in the campus. If you have some friends outside the campus, your school friends, talk to them. If you have your brother, sister, with whom you have a really good friendship, talk to them. And don't feel, अरे वो मुझे कैसे judge करेगा? ऐसा नहीं होता है, because everybody is going through something. So the first time anybody like opens up with me, I'm always like, there have been times when I was also vulnerable. It's okay. If I'm doing research in emotions or if I'm counseling so many people, it doesn't mean that I have never been depressed or having some anxiety. No, it's not like that. We all are humans. We're supposed to feel everything. Okay? So don't feel sorry about that. And don't feel sorry of what you're feeling. That's your feeling, right? The only thing you have to be responsible enough is that you have to write it down somewhere. अच्छा, I will ask all the students whoever are listening right now. अगर आप अपने कमरे में बैठे हो और साथ वाले से कमरे से तुम्हारा दोस्त उठ के आता है रोते हुए, कंधा रो रहा है, ठीक है, सिसकियां मार के, okay, and he comes to your room and is sitting beside your bed, what are you gonna do? You're gonna throw him off? जाके उसको बाथरूम में बंद कर दोगे जो तुम्हारे कॉमन बाथरूम्स होते हैं, और you'll make sit with him और उसे पानी पिलाओगे? I'm pretty sure you're gonna make sure कि वो पानी पिए, right Ayan? Right Gauri? And you listen to that person. Exactly. तो जब यार तुम दूसरे बंदे के लिए इतनी एम्पैथी दिखा सकते हो, why not for yourself? Right? Or you're gonna be like, you know what you're doing for yourself? You are closing yourself in a closet or in a bathroom. But when somebody else is coming to you with a problem, you are catering to the problem. You're helping that person. You're making him or her drink the water, making them sit there, making them watch a movie. कुछ पंक्तियां करके हंसा रहे हो, बोलो चलो यार चलते हैं कैंपस में एक वॉक मार के आते हैं, ठीक है, कुछ भी मस्ती कर रहे हो, गार्ड सीटी मार रहा है लेकिन छुप छुपाते ही हा करके निकल रहे हो इधर से उधर, उसको तो कह रहे चल आज चाय मेरे नाम की चापो, ठीक है, you're doing something to make that person feel special and happy. Then why not the same thing for yourself? Simple, right? You're not gonna, if you're not closing that person who was crying in a closet or in a bathroom, what are you doing for yourself? Simple question. बहुत logical लोग हो यार तुम लोग, right? So why not this, right? You are people of like E equal to MC square, right? So you know the logic, you know maths, you know physics. Logic hai, simple. So I hope with this logic you understand you are important. You are very important. Everybody who is listening to this podcast and who is not even listening to the podcast is very important individually. You are beautiful minds. You're here because you deserve to be here. You're very strong. It's just a phase. It will go away. But you need to share your things. Don't feel vulnerable that if you share your things, you will be weaker. Trust me, you will be stronger. अपनी बात जब अपने मुंह से किसी को बोलते हो, you're like, अच्छा मैं ऐसे सोच रहा हूँ. Okay. Or oh God, मैं ये भी सोच रहा हूँ. You know, so when you start talking or when you start writing, you will understand the difference. And it's all about the perception, how you are looking at things. The only thing we have to do it, and I think Gauri and Ayan is trying to do that, change the perception of the students at IIT that problem वही है, आपको यहाँ से नहीं यहाँ से देखना है, and things will be better. मैं ये नहीं कह रही problem solve हो जाएगी, but you will be stronger to go through that problem.
Yeah, actually, so do you also think, it's a very small question, but it just popped in my head. Do you also think that this tag of IIT and of being a part of such a big institution like IIT actually adds on to the pressure that students have, and then that is what actually starts to trigger and then catalyze all those pressure points that are there?
And can I have the question again, if that's possible?
Yeah. So it's just a small question that the tag of IIT or being a part of such a big institution like IIT Roorkee, so does that also add to the pressure and the pressure points, or catalyzes the pressure points and adds to the stress?
Yes. Oh my God. I think दुखती रख पे हाथ रखने वाला question है ये. There is too many expectations out of one student, like कि वो सब कुछ कर जाएगा. From parents to the professors to your friends and everything. So IIT में, oh, okay. अब तो ये कर ही लेगा, अब तो ये भी कर लेगा. As if he or she is a machine and they are supposed to do this thing like in this particular manner, okay? And because of this, there have been many cases which I handled, and I'll give you one example here. So there was one of my students. Now he's doing amazing, and he the way he came to me and he told me that, you know, ma'am, I think I'm not man enough, which I'm supposed to be, as according to my family, according to where I am. So the kind of bars I've set for myself, I'm not yet there, and I feel so scared. और वो बंदा मतलब 10 pointer है, वो मचाऊ है हर चीज में, ठीक है. I cannot take the name, I'm just telling you, he's amazing, and his principles and work ethics are amazing. But उसको अलग ही तरह के, you know, inhibitions हैं, fears हैं. So this is him और वो अपने आप को यहाँ से देख रहा है और मैं उसको यहाँ से देख रही हूँ, एंड आई एम लाइक व्हाट, व्हाई आर टॉकिंग लाइक दैट. उसको नहीं समझ में आ रहा था, एंड ही वाज सो स्कैर्ड getting in the wrong direction in the life and going through so much and just feeling that I'm not good enough, I'm not yet there, I have to do this, I have to do that. और वो नहीं हो पा रहा है तो घर से भी कॉल आ रहे हैं लाइक ये हुआ, ये किया, ये कंपनी में तुम्हारा जॉब लग गया, इंटर्नशिप अच्छा यहाँ लग गई, कितना पैकेज है, कौन में किया, इसमें किया, एंड लाइक योर फ्रेंड्स आर लाइक एवरीबॉडी लाइक दिस, सो मच ऑफ प्रेशर, राइट. एंड उसके ऊपर एज यू नो इतनी सीरीज निकाल दी हैं इन्होंने, कोटा फैक्ट्री टू दिस एंड दैट, इट्स ऑल अबाउट लाइक आईआईटी एंड एवरीथिंग. नाउ दिस इज वन एग्जांपल. मैं आपको दूसरा एग्जांपल दूंगी. बीइंग एट कॉर्नेल, व्हाट आई फेल्ट लाइक, I was judged to one of the engineering conference where there was a mechanical student who was working on CERN. Okay, so uska tha that he was working on that how deacceleration ho raha tha particles ka, and he was working on that. So the CERN in Switzerland has some collaboration with mechanical department at Cornell, and was working on that. And that kid was a colored guy and very subtle and very scared, but he was working on it, right? But the way his attitude was that even if he fails, it's okay. And while I was judging and looking at the poster while, you know, giving marks, I was like, okay, the way I'm looking at this kid, और इसी third year का अगर मैं अपने IIT रुड़की का लड़का देखती हूँ, so much difference. Because the kid at IITs they are so scared. Even they are so talented, they don't realize they're so amazing. And वो एक problem होता है जो expectation को catalyst बना देता है. So if you have the confidence that I will make things the way I want to do it, then कोई आपको कितनी भी expectations डालता रहे, आप उससे डरोगे नहीं. Problem ये है कि the student himself or herself is not feeling confident enough that who he or she is, and because of that, whatever expectations are coming, you're like, oh my god, will I be able to do it, or should I do this? And you have to do it. I don't want to go for coding, but I have to go for coding because everybody is doing the coding, or I need to have the best package क्योंकि seniors का इतना package लगा था तो मेरा भी लगना चाहिए, because मम्मी कह रही है बेटा तुम्हें पता है पिछले साल कितना package लगा था, वो news में आया था, and that means indirectly I want your name in the newspaper next year, right? So it's okay. I mean, take that as like a compliment that at least they're expecting something out of you, because many students in India, there is no expectation out of them. But don't make it something as like a milestone in your life कि वो expectation पूरा नहीं हुआ तो आपका काम नहीं हो पाएगा. Find your own path. और जो लोग ये करते हैं ना, वो लोग ज्यादा मचाते हैं. Like, don't listen to everybody, but in the end do what do you want to do, because अगर आपने वो नहीं किया ना तो आप अच्छा नहीं perform करोगे. So don't get scared of the expectations. Instead of that, look at it like, because you are literally the cream of India. Like, you are like the most beautiful minds in India. So expectation hogi, right? So like people ask me, okay, you are Dr. Sharma, you are supposed to answer this. And I'm like, okay, am I? Do I know all the answers? They're like, no, you're supposed to answer it. Like, tell me how this thing happened. And I'm like, okay, scientifically tell me this thing. I'm like, I have to read that paper and then I'll get back to you because I don't know everything, you know. They think I know everything, and that's not the way. I'm also a human being, I'm also learning. So it's okay if people are expecting, especially with parents and your friends outside, like कभी कभी एक फोन आता होगा तुम्हारे स्कूल में, किसी तेरा तो हो ही जाएगा यार, तेरा तो लग ही जाएगा, तू तो आईआईटी में, तुझे क्या टेंशन है. लाइक हाँ ठीक है, बिकॉज एक सेकंड वो पूरे टेंशंस तुम्हारे दिमाग में एक रील बन के निकल गए हैं which you don't want to even speak about, right? It's okay. ये एक्सपेक्टेशंस हमेशा रहेंगी, ये आपसे भी थी, आपके जूनियर्स से भी रहेंगी जो नए लोग आएंगे, and your seniors as well, which have been part of the system. But the way I counsel them was like, it's okay if you're feeling like that, but you need to understand why you're feeling that, like that, why you feel that you're not good enough. So make a catalog, okay, of your wins and your, like, where you have lost the battle. And the wins, सबसे पहला है कि जेई क्रैक करके आए भाई यहाँ पर, ठीक है. Secondly, making some good friends. Third, maybe फुटबॉल खेल रहे हैं, मे बी कुछ भी नहीं कर रहे हैं, रूम पे बैठ के एनिमे देख रहे हैं, ठीक है, लेकिन देख रहे हैं, ठीक है? So they have the knowledge of the anime, and trust me, I did some presentations where I asked कुछ मत बनाओ, तुम anime देखते हो ना, बेस्ट डायरेक्टर्स के बारे में लिख के आओ, वो कहाँ बनते हैं, कैसे बनते हैं, कहाँ से originate हुआ, उसकी हिस्ट्री के बारे में बताओ. So it's all right, whatever you're doing is okay, but you just need to channelize yourself for your own good. अगर आपको IAS नहीं बनना है तो मत करो, कोई कितना भी कहता रहे, ठीक है, कि अरे अब तो लड़का IIT में तो आ गया, अब नेक्स्ट IAS बनेगा, या नेक्स्ट IIM जाएगा, या नेक्स्ट ये तो US ही जाएगा. If you don't want to do it, it's okay, but you don't have to answer everybody. Don't answer anybody. Just prove yourself where you want to prove yourself. Okay, I'll take you one more example here. The example is one of the photographers. He's an amazing photographer from IIT Roorkee, okay? And I'll not name that person, but he's amazing. Now that guy, के घर में है कि नहीं, you have to, get into the business और अपनी पढ़ाई करो, कोर में का पढ़ाई करो. He doesn't want to do that. उसको ये मैम यार मेरे को फोटोग्राफी करनी है. So I was like, okay, find some collaborations, do something जो इतना अलग हो कि तुम्हारे पेरेंट्स भी मना नहीं कर पाए. तो he started having collaborations with United Nations, and he started having photography with that place, and we started working there. Like people were like, oh my god, he's doing amazing. And that's the way you answer back, okay? Instead of answering them or even feeling tension about it, mat karo yaar. Just do your deed and show them ki, see, I am excelling in this and I will be best in this. And I'm pretty sure they'll be okay with that. Instead of getting scared in the process of yaar yahan se bhi expectation hai, mummy kuch keh rahi hai, papa kuch keh rahe hai, और प्रोफेसर भी कह रहे हैं मैंने तो तुमसे एक्सपेक्ट किया था तुम इतने मार्क्स लाओगे, whatever the scene is happening, या तुम्हारे फ्रेंड्स. Chill, relax. You need some break as well. But break इतना लंबा भी मत लो कि एक complacent हो जाओ चीजों के. I always say, first class आता था, बैच आता था, पहले दिन वो बैठते थे, मैं ये कहती थी complacent नहीं होना यार, कुछ भी करो. ये नहीं कह रहे अब तो IIT में आ गए, अब तो भाई फेस्ट होंगे, मस्ती होगी, पूरा फर्स्ट ईयर पता ही नहीं कहाँ जा रहा है, 5 से 4 CG आ रहा है, and we are okay with it. That's not you. You were the same person जिसने JEE के लिए जो पीछे तैयारी की थी. Always remember that kid you were. जब तुमने बैठ के पूरा घिस के पूरा ऐसे पढ़ाई की है, you were so disciplined. More than motivation, you were disciplined, right? Where you are right now is because of your discipline. Don't forget, you are the same person. And I always tell people who have passed out from IIT Roorkee and they are going through something, जिनको मैं अभी counsel कर रही हूँ, or IIT Roorkee का ही part है, but they are like working professionals or founders or something like that. I just tell them, just go back when you were in your 12th standard or you were in your drop year. And especially the drop years, hats off. Like I have huge respect for them, how they did that, right? Because उससे ज़्यादा pressure किसी के पर नहीं होता है, but they did it. So how they, अगर तुम वो manage कर सकते हो यार, तो तुम कुछ भी manage कर सकते हो. Because उस समय तो सबसे ज़्यादा expectation होती है, आसपास के लोग भी, बच्चा क्या कर रहा है, ड्रॉप लेके पढ़ रहा है, oh my god. उसके बाद there are so many feedbacks from here and there, but you were so focused with your work that you were not paying heed to that. So you're the same person who handled that kind of a pressure. But problem ये है, तुमने उसको pressure माना ही नहीं. You were so disciplined in your work कि वो तुम्हारे लिए मुद्दे की बात थी ही नहीं. But now, because you're in the campus, हर चीज मुद्दा बन गया है, क्योंकि focus नहीं है. So find your focus, and then these expectations or something, it's not gonna do anything. Trust me. And I'll give you one more example because this is important कि हम यहाँ पे बात करें students की. So there was one student who passed out long time back, like I think 2016 or 17, ठीक है? And he used to come to the library आता था मेरे साथ. Like at 8 o'clock I used to be in the library. तो library का हर बंदा मेरे को जानता है, सारे सर लोग मेरे को जानते हैं. तो I used to like मैं library open करवाती थी. So after a while I saw one more like guy coming along and opening the library at 8 a.m. in the morning. And I was like, ये कौन है? Like 8 बजे तो कोई नहीं आता यहाँ पे library में. And then I saw him like वो पढ़ता था like continuously, and I could see history, geography की books. And तो एक दिन I just asked him कि, are you preparing for civil services? And he said, yes, ma'am, I have already passed out. I am not in the campus, but I'm studying here. I have taken permission to sit here and study from the campus, from the admin, so I can study here. So there was a huge group. final year ke bacche ya third year ke bacche and him, they took the permission so they can sit and just study inside the campus. And uska ghar is in Roorkee only, okay? Now, that process happened not for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, for more than 4 years. And then I met her sister as well. So sister used to say, Didi, you know what? At home, everybody thinks he doesn't do anything. He comes to the campus and he goes back. He's not studying. And what he told me was like, ma'am, I just don't want to stay back at home. मैं सुबह 6 बजे उठता हूँ, 7 बजे निकल जाता हूँ. So I'm, because उसका घर रुड़की में था, so I'm in the campus. I study और रात को 12 बजे campus से निकलता हूँ. When everybody's sleeping, I tiptoe back and I sleep. Because parents are thinking, IIT रुड़की का पास आउट है, इतनी बढ़िया ब्रांच से पास आउट है, इसकी नौकरी नहीं लगी. 4 years हो गए, he's still trying for civil services, but he was still trying. I told her sister, like, you know, the way I have seen him from the past so many years, he's only studying. ये केवल उठता है जॉर्जिया में जाके चाय पीने के लिए या खाना खाने के लिए, इसके अलावा वो कहीं नहीं जाता है, इसका होगा. And I was in New York that time, a year back, like in 2021, he just messaged me. He got into Bihar cadre. It took him a while though, but he did it. And you know what he wrote to me? Like, nobody was, you know, having that confidence the way you had a confidence in me. I used to always say, क्योंकि सबने छोड़ दिया था, नहीं होगा, इतने साल हो गए. I was like, नहीं, you are studying, you will get it because you want it. Years doesn't matter, expectations doesn't matter. तुम्हें करना है, तुम ये कर लोगे. And right now he's an amazing civil servant of India, you know, representing IIT Roorkee and being there and doing amazing. But it took him long, like so many years, you know. I saw him first time in 2016 or 17 in the library. और उसको अब जाके उसका हुआ, but हुआ है, and I'm so proud of him. And the moment he got it, he wrote to me like, you know, thank you so much for keeping the confidence. And it just, I was so happy about it, you know, क्योंकि यहाँ पे अपने अंदर कॉन्फिडेंस होना जरूरी है, लोगों की एक्सपेक्टेशंस नहीं. सो दिस इज वन ऑफ द एग्जांपल ऑफ योर सीनियर्स हु मचा दिया उस बंदे ने, सबकी बातों को साइड में करके जो उसे करना था उसने वही किया. He failed so many times, but he's there where he wanted to be. And now nobody's going to ask him, right? That how many times you failed or how many years you did the preparation. Nobody's going to ask that. They'll be like, oh, bhai, IAS officer hai, you know, lal batti mein aata hai. So you need to understand that thing. And I just want to tell everybody, please understand through the examples and beautiful stories of your seniors that you are the same person that they were. Okay? So don't leave, you know, lose your mojo. Mojo is like the core. Don't lose it. It's okay. Expectations, abhi kya, zindagi bhar रहेंगी. सब कभी ना कभी कोई ना कोई नई नई expectations आती रहेंगी. It's all right. Do what do you want to do, but without harming anybody or getting harmed in the way. That's also important. Okay? Yes.
Well, it's so good to listen to you tell stories about our seniors and get to know that they were also like us. And hello, we are at the closing stages because time is a constraint. But there's one thing, that the timing of us recording this podcast is such that the year has just started. Okay, and the first year that has not joined yet is also thinking कि क्या होगा, क्या मिलेगा. The second year which is here is thinking कि क्या करेंगे. Third year is intern season, कौन सी company लेगी. Fourth year is placement season की कौन सी company लेगी. So everybody is like क्या होगा. So are there any tips with which you would like to close?
Yes. Okay. And I think ये question तुम्हारे seniors का भी था, लेकिन it is more a relevant question to you guys because after COVID things have changed. Right now the market is really vulnerable and very volatile, but you need to find the best from the chaos. You have to see the pattern in the chaos. When you're in the first year, your challenges are different. As you said, second year different, third year internship, fourth year placements. तो हमेशा कुछ ना कुछ you will be having challenges while you in these 4 years. What I'll say, if I'll see the kind of experience I had with all the students and like counseling them, being their friends, being around them, and understanding everything from the like flesh and blood, the way I see it is like, it's okay. Whatever is happening right now is the process of you understanding that ये आपका personality development है. Okay? And even if you're getting something, it's okay. If you're not able to get something, वो और अच्छा है. ठीक है. I don't know how many people see Zakir Khan. उसने एक बहुत अच्छी line बोली है कि तुम्हें मिलता है तो अच्छा है, नहीं मिलता है तो बहुत अच्छा है, because there's something else waiting for you. Okay, so start believing in that. But I think there is some stress which is also required. Okay, and like some stress is called EU stress. That is a positive stress. When you have that, then you sit and work for it. When you're scared of not getting things, then you sit and work for it. So there is a fine line of getting depressed about it, that, oh, I'm not able to get things. And there is other things like, oh, I'm really scared. I need to sit and have to work through the night to get the things done. So next day का मेरा paper अच्छा जाए. So ये छोटी छोटी चीजें हैं जिसपे if you work, you will understand that how you're supposed to be an engineer. So I think Ayan ने जिस दी है being at IIT Roorkee, because I'll tell you what, I'll say one more thing. So I went to one of the startup meetings in Bangalore, and I met one of the person from IIT Delhi, and उसके ऊपर question दिया गया था कि why there was a one kid who was an engineer. He said that why I'm an engineer, I'm not supposed to do this, because after that people are doing photography, or they're into creatives, or they're getting into comedy or doing this, then why I'm supposed to be engineer and going through that 4 years of disdain, stress, you know? And he said very beautiful thing. He said, first, see, technically, if you know maths, you know logic, you can do anything. Machine learning karna hai, creativity karni hai, you want to get into, even if you want to start a business, or if you want to get into something which is not at all technical, if you want to get into product management as well, or anything related to that, being an engineer is helping you. So there was a question, why BTech? So BTech is not about just the degree or the courses, it's the experience of those 4 years. And that's what Ayan gave a gist of. First year ke challenges alag, second ke, third ke, fourth ke. These challenges is actually making you the man you're supposed to be, right? With all the failures, with all the anxiety, but still handling it. और रात को साइकिल लेके जा रहे हैं कि मेरे को काम खत्म करना है, मेरे काम खत्म नहीं हो पा रहे हैं, और खाना खा रहे हैं, पेट में भी दर्द हो रहा है खाना खाने के बाद, but you're still like have to sit and work for it. And family की याद आ रही है, याद आ रहा है मम्मा कितना अच्छा खाना बनाती थी, something like that. All those memories, like from somebody of your friend getting laddus and you eating all the laddus at one go, from that to going out and पैसे नहीं हो रहा है, पैसे इकट्ठे करो, मूवी देखने जाना है, कि यार तेरे पास इतने पैसे थे, आज तू चापो देगा. From that to actually getting selected in a company, everything. This is a journey. So इस experience को feel करो. ये मत सोचो कि यार challenges है, there should be a tip. There is no tip. The thing is, this is actually making you who you are supposed to be. So engineering is all about experience of these old years. Okay, so it is a very beautiful way of looking at your life, and you're going to be a very different person once you're out the 4th year. तुम बैठ के देखोगे यार 4 साल क्या challenges थे life के, चाहे मैंने अकेले handle किए या 4 friends के साथ handle किए. You will be the stronger version of yourself when you actually enter the campus. And I'm so happy you're back at the campus. This is a must. So sit together, have lots of masti, अलग-अलग नुक्कड़ जगह पे बैठ के बातें करना, वो बहुत 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 जरूरी है. And I'm very happy you're there. You know, from having CBRI के पराठे से लेके Tintin uncle के burgers, there is one mushroom burger, I still remember, I don't know. Find it, उनका WhatsApp पे आता था कि they are on, तो हम जाते थे खाने, अंकल आंटी बनाते थे, amazing. ठीक है? So all these things, small things, कि आज तुझे चापो देनी है, आज मुझे चापो देनी है, चापो वाले दिन भाग गए, बर्थडे के दिन जो वाट लगती है, वो, everything is required. All your failures, all your laughs, all your feeling of being lonely in the campus is required for you to be what you're gonna be in these 4 years. Trust me. So don't get intimidated. Enjoy the process, even if it's very scary for you right now. You know, you're gonna be winners, all of you. Don't worry, and survivors for sure.
Well, I hate to say this, but with this we come to the end of the episode. And on behalf of Team Watch Out, on behalf of the students of IIT, I would like to thank Deeksha for your time and for all your inputs. And I really hope that will be helpful for us. And thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, Ayan. Thank you, Gauri. Thank you, Rahul. And thank you, Raghu, for the backend team for all the help. And I'm so glad I was able to come here and talk about and share my 2 cents on something related to mental health at IIT Roorkee. So thank you so much.